Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And today we're going to go into the book of Matthew, the 13th chapter. The selfsame day Yahweh Shai went out of the house and sat by the seaside, and great multitudes were gathered together unto him, so that he went into a ship and sat, and the whole multitude stood on the shore. And he spake many things unto them in parables, saying, Behold, a sower went forth to sow. Now, majority of this chapter is the parables which Yahweh Shai spake, and he basically breaks down. he basically breaks them down as we go through. But as it says here, a sower went forth to sow, and when he sowed, some seeds fell by the wayside, and the fowls came and devoured them up. Some fell upon stony places, where they had not much earth. Now, let me see here. Yeah, so he does explain it. So when we get to that part, we'll go into it. And had not much earth, and forthwith they sprung up, because they had no deepness of earth. And when the sun was up, they were scorched, and because they had no root, they withered away. And some fell among thorns, and the thorns sprung up and choked them. But other fell into good ground, and brought forth fruit, some 100-fold, some 60-fold, some 30-fold. Who hath ears to hear, let him hear. So he purposely spoke in parables, and he said, those that have spiritual ears that are opened, let them hear it, let them understand it. The majority of them weren't going to get it. And the disciples came and said unto him, Why speakest thou unto them in parables? He answered and said unto them, Because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not given. So he would explain it to his disciples, but he would leave it in parabolic form unto them. For whosoever hath, to him shall be given, and he shall have more abundance. But whosoever hath not, from him shall be taken away, even that he hath. And I'll read this in the NLT as well. It says, To those who listen to my teaching, more understanding will be given, and they will have an abundance of knowledge. But for those who are not listening, even what little understanding they have will be taken away from them. Therefore speak I to them in parables, because they seeing not, and hearing, they hear not, neither do they understand, because it's not for them to receive it. So they can hear the words, but they don't understand it. They can see me speaking, but they don't perceive what I'm talking about. And in them is fulfilled the prophecy of Isaiah, which saith, By hearing ye shall hear, and shall not understand, and seeing ye shall see, and shall not perceive, because the Most High closed their mind to understand and comprehend what the Lord meant by that. So he spoke in parables to symbolize this, where you're hearing something, but you don't understand what it means. For this people's heart is waxed gross, meaning their minds have become hard, and their ears are dull of hearing, their spiritual ears, because they could hear you, but they just wouldn't understand. And their eyes they have closed, lest at any time they should see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, and should understand with their heart, and should be converted, and I should heal them. So there's some people the Lord didn't want to heal. He didn't want them to get it. So he blocked their spiritual mind from understanding his word. But blessed are your eyes, for they see, and your ears, for they hear. For verily I say unto you that many prophets and righteous men have desired to see those things which ye see, and have not seen them, and to hear those things which ye hear, and have not heard them. Right. And them, the disciples, being with the Messiah, right? You had prophets of old that prophesied about that, but they didn't get to experience it, right? They didn't get to see it. It wasn't in their time. But the disciples, they had it. They had the Lord with them. They had the gospel. They were living in a time of prophecies being fulfilled that men of old had waited and eagerly desired to see. Hear ye therefore the parable of the sower. So now the Lord explains it. When anyone heareth the word of the kingdom, and understandeth it not, then cometh the wicked one, and catcheth away that which was sown in his heart. Right? So the word that they heard, sometimes the Lord puts a block on them. They may be listening, and then he'll have something come, maybe some distraction, maybe a person, and come in, as it says, of the wicked one. So it's really sent of the devil, and they'll come and take that away from this person, right? By distracting them, causing them to leave, causing them not to continue to listen and to grow and nurture that seed. This is he which received seed by the wayside, so their mind wasn't ready for it. But he that received the seed into stony places, the same is he that heareth the word, and anon with joy receiveth it. So when they hear the word, they're glad, they're excited to hear it. Yet hath he not root in himself, but dureth for a while. So they hear the word, but they don't ground themselves or get rooted in this truth. So they'll endure for a little while. For when tribulation or persecution ariseth because of the word, by and by he is offended, because he wasn't fully in it. He wasn't fully rooted. So with a little bit of tribulation or offenses, that's it. They're out of there. So they don't last long. He also that received the seed among the thorns is he that heareth the word, and the care of this world and the deceitfulness of riches choke the word, and he becometh unfruitful. So he hears the word, but he's too distracted by this world and money and riches and the life that they got to live, that they don't invest enough time into this word to allow it to nourish and to grow and to be rooted in it and to sacrifice for it. And so eventually it just dies, and they neglect the truth, or they neglect the word. But he that received the seed into good ground is he that heareth the word and understandeth it, which also beareth fruit. So they hear this word, they accept it, and they go and bring forth works out of hearing this word, and bringeth forth some 100-fold, some 60, and some 30. So you're going to have people that will hear this word, that will do the things that the Lord requires, but everybody's not going to do it on the same level. Some will do more than others, right? But everybody's been given a different measure. Verse 24, another parable put he forth unto them, saying, the kingdom of heaven is likened unto a man which sowed good seed in his field. And while men slept, his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat and went his way. Now this parable is dealing with the righteous and the wicked. The good seed are the Israelites. The tares are the Edomites, okay, the wicked ones. And as it says here, it's in a parabolic form, right? But as it says, while men slept, his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat and went his way. And this is basically explaining how you would have certain Edomites that look like Israelites, and they would look identical, and it would be hard to tell. But that is the tares, because tares can look very identical, right, until they grow. So as it says here, and in process of history, you had Edomites that were intermingling with our people, right, and having children with our women, and those children coming out looking like them. That was the tares that were being sold. And the Lord, he breaks this down as we continue on. But when the blade was sprung up and brought forth fruit, then appeared the tares also. So the servant of the household came and said unto him, Sir, didst not thou sow good seed in thy field? From whence then hath it tares? Right? So what's going on? Where did these tares come from? He said unto them, An enemy hath done this. The servant said unto him, Wilt thou then that we go and gather them up? So do you want us to go and separate them? But he said, Nay, lest while ye gather up the tares, ye root up also the wheat with them. So leave them, right? It's all right. It's very hard to tell and differentiate. You don't want to condemn an Israelite, right, in the process because you think that they're a tare. So let it be. The Lord will handle it, right? Let both grow together until the harvest, which is going to be the end of the world, the time of judgment. And in the time of harvest, I will say to the reapers, which are the angels, gather ye together first the tares. And that's why the Lord said he will send out his angels to gather his elect, because they will know exactly who to deliver and who to destroy. And bind them in bundles to burn them, meaning they'll be destroyed. But gather the wheat into my barn, which will be the elect, right? The right seed. Another parable he put forth unto them, saying, The kingdom of heaven is like to a grain of a mustard seed, which a man took and sowed in his field, which indeed is the least of all seeds, but when it is grown, it is the greatest among herbs. See, so it's like an investment. When you first come into this truth, it doesn't feel like much, but over time, right, as it grows, and when we get to the end, you'll see the actual how great it actually is. Okay, and becometh a tree, so that the birds of the air come and lodge in the branches thereof. Another parable he spake unto them, The kingdom of heaven is like unto leaven, which a woman took and hid in 3 measures of meal till the whole was leavened. Right, because once you it says a little leaven leaveneth the whole lump. And that's how this truth is, right? It starts off small and it continues to grow and grow and grow and grow until it completely takes over. All these things spake Yahushua to the multitude in parables, but without a parable spake he not unto them. So he constantly spoke to them in parables because for a good amount of them, it wasn't given for them to understand. That it might be fulfilled, which was spoken by the prophet, saying, I will open my mouth in parables. I will utter things which have been kept secret from the foundation of the world. I believe that's in the book of Psalms, maybe the 78th chapter. Then Yahushua sent the multitude away and went into the house, and his disciples came unto him, saying, Declare unto us the parable of the tares of the field. He answered and said unto them, He that soweth the good seed is the Son of Man. The field is the world. The good seed are the children of the kingdom, which are the Israelites. But the tares are the children of the wicked one. And we know the wicked, pursuant to Malachi 1 and 3, are the Edomites. The enemy hath sowed them. The enemy that sowed them is the devil. The harvest is the end of the world, and the reapers are the angels, because they can tell by looking at your spirit, and they're not deceived by the outward appearance like man would be. As therefore the tares are gathered and burned in the fire, so shall it be in the end of the world, right? Because they're going to be gathered up and destroyed. The Son of Man shall send forth his angels, and they shall gather out of his kingdom all things that offend, and them which do iniquity. And that includes the tares, and that includes the wicked, and that includes the ungodly, and that includes all those that are not destined for salvation, right? And shall cast them out into a furnace of fire. There shall be wailing and gnashing of teeth. Then shall the righteous shine forth as the sun in the kingdom of their Father. Who hath ears to hear, let him hear. Right, so it's going to be a balance, right? You're going to have the righteous who are going to rejoice, they're going to be glorified, and you're going to have the ungodly who are going to be destroyed. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto treasure hid in a field, which when a man hath found, he hideth, because it's precious to him. And for joy thereof goeth and selleth all that he hath and buyeth that field. So when he found this treasure, this kingdom, he went and sacrificed and sold everything, gave up everything for it. And that's what the truth is like. You got to be willing at all costs to obtain it, no matter what you have to give up. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a merchant man seeking goodly pearls, who, when he hath found one pearl of great price, went and sold all that he had and bought it. Same concept. When you find this truth, you got to be willing to give up any and everything for it. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a net that was cast into the sea and gathereth of all kinds. So when you fish, right, fishers of men, when you in this ministry, as you teach, you'll have all different kinds of people come into it, right? And that is like the net that gathers of every kind, some that are good and some that are bad, which when it is full, or when it was full, they drew to shore and sat down and gathered the good into the vessels, but cast the bad away. And that's those that come in that believe for a while or claim to believe, but eventually time will show that they're bad or they're not the good, and the Lord is going to cast them out. So shall it be at the end of the world. The angels shall come forth and sever the wicked from among the just, and shall cast them into the furnace of fire. So they're going to be destroyed. There shall be wailing and gnashing of teeth. Yahushua saith unto them, Have ye understood all these things? They say unto him, Yea, Lord. Then said he unto them, Therefore every scribe which is instructed unto the kingdom of heaven is like unto a man that is an householder, which bringeth forth out of his treasures things new and old. Now read that in the NLT as well. He added, Every teacher of religious law who becomes a disciple in the kingdom of heaven is like a homeowner who brings from his storehouse or his storeroom new gems of truth as well as old. And that's what he did, right? Dropping those parables on them. And it came to pass that when Yahushua had finished these parables, he departed thence. And when he was come into his own country, he taught them in the synagogue, insomuch that they were astonished, and said, Whence hath this man this wisdom and these mighty works? Like, since when? Is not this the carpenter's son? Is not his mother called Mary? So this is when their heart was hardened, because they were familiar with him, they refused to believe that he was truly this mighty man. And his brethren James and Joses and Simon and Judas, and his sisters, are they not all with us? Whence then hath this man all these things? And they were offended in him. But Yahushua said unto them, A prophet is not without honor, save in his own country and in his own house. See, because they're familiar with him, so they wouldn't honor or believe you because they're so caught up on how they knew you or how they grew up with you that they don't see the actual spirit that is upon you. And he did not many mighty works there because of their unbelief. And that brings us to the end of the book of Matthew, the 13th chapter. Lord willing, this was edifying to the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rakha Kodash. And until next time, Shalom.